Hello, good morning. So, my name is Kirti and I'm the biology tutor. Today, we are going to deal with the topic on control and coordination, which is the chapter in biological science for your class 10. Okay, so this is your control and coordination part 1 biological science in grade 10. Okay, this is for CBSE students, and today we are going to deal with the topics like the brain, nervous system, or neurological disorders, all those kind of things. Okay, so what all you will be asked, the questions will be coming inside from this topic, all will be discussed today. Okay, so let's move. Before that, what I will do is I will just share my screen. Okay. So before beginning with this topic, we can just what to do is we can just do a game. Okay, what I will do is I will just show you some of the words. What you want to do is you want to read the color of the words, not that word. Okay, so you will be understand that. Hmm? So here, tell me, what are the colors? Yeah, this is black in color. You should not tell the word. Okay, you should tell only the color. This is black, green. Sorry, not green, red, or purple, olive, or teal, then yellow, then brown. Okay, so what was your brain is putting into your you into a test or something like very difficulty you feel while reading all those things? Is it that so? Because our brain is putting ourselves into a test. Okay, so let's learn today's topic is our human brain. Okay, so human brain is really very important and it is one of the complex organ of our human body. Okay, so the brain is having two main parts. They are the cerebrum and the cerebellum. Okay, cerebrum and the cerebellum are the two important parts of the brain. So while playing this game, you were accidentally reading the word and not reading the color, right? So what was that completely normal? You don't want to worry. It is because of the left and right side of the conflict between the brain. Okay, it is just because of the conflict between the brain. So our right side will firstly tell us the color and the left side will insist you on reading the word. Okay, it will reading us to insist on reading the word. Understand? Just a minute. Yeah. So, just a minute. I will just resume the video. So, again, I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So, can you see this? So in this, we had told that this because of the right and left side of the conflict of the brain. See what all the left side of the brain will do. The left side of the brain will analyze, or we can do the logical thinking, or the ideas, or the facts, or the mathematical problems, or the training, whatever will deals with the left side of the brain. And the right side of the brain will do with the creativity, intuitions, arts, creations, feelings, imaginations, all those kind of things will deal with the right side of the brain. Okay, so left side of the brain will those people who are good with the mathematical problems or while doing with the facts, or if they are very good with the analysis or something like that, they are very good with the left side of the brain, that is this part. Okay, and the right side of the brain, they will be very good at the arts and craft, or they will be very creative. They will be having much more feelings, like emotional feelings like that, and all for the right side of the brain. Okay, so by this we understand that the brain is divided into two halves. They are the right half and the left half. Okay, so both the right half and the left half of the brain, these are interconnected with the what these two are interconnected with a bundle of nerves. Okay, they are interconnected with the bundle of nerves, which is called as the corpus callosum. Okay, they are called as the corpus callosum. So this bundle of the nerves are called as the corpus callosum. What they will do is they will pass the messages from the right side to the left side to the right side. It will move on. Okay, so corpus callosum is a bundle of nerves which connect both the halves. Okay, that is with the right half and with the left half. Okay, now next is, while seeing this brain image, do you feel anything that can be eaten? That can be eaten? Yes, it seems like to be a walnut, right? It looks like a walnut. And do you know that the walnut is a brain boosting nut? So when we are eating regularly, what will happen? It can increase the memory power of the brain. Okay, it can easily increase the memory power of the brain. So the brain is having, it looks like a walnut. So ask your parents to give you walnuts regularly. It can increase the, yeah, yes, that's it. The way it can increase the memory power. Okay, now I compared two brains here. Okay, first one is the mouse brain and second one is the human brain. Tell me what is the difference between the mouse brain and the human brain? Yeah, it will be varying in the size, and in the human brain they are having so many number of wrinkles are there, and in the mouse brain they don't have any brain, like not brain, it does not have any wrinkles, right? So let's see that the wrinkles is in our brain, that is our brain have wrinkles on their surface. So what these wrinkles will do, the wrinkles part is called as the cerebrum. Okay, it is called as the cerebrum, which is the major portion of the brain. It is the major portion of the brain. The cerebral part is the major portion of the brain, but not every individual will have equal part of the wrinkles. So those people who are having much wrinkles or much surface area, they will be having what? More intelligence. I will tell you what is the logic between that. Okay, that is, see here, more surface area. Hmm? If they are having more surface, more wrinkles means more surface area. So more surface area means more neurons in the nervous tissues. So more neurons means more intelligence. Okay, the electrical signals will passes through the brain and it will shows more intelligence. Okay, so this is the thing. Now, so now we understand that cerebrum, it is associated with the intelligence of an individual. Now we can see our brain from a different part. That is, we are cutting our brain horizontally and vertically. Okay, both horizontally and vertically we are cutting. So from horizontally and vertical cutting, we got horizontally means how? Vertically means, yeah, like this. Horizontally means like this, right? So vertically means it is the left and right side. If it is horizontally means cutting the section of the brain, we can see four types of lobes inside the brain. Okay, so four types of lobes. Do you know what are the four types of lobes inside the human brain? Do you know? Yeah, so this is the frontal lobe, that is, which is in the front side. I will show you one different image. See here, this is the frontal lobe, which is in the front side. Then after frontal lobe is the parietal lobe. Then the last one is the occipital, and the down one is the temporal lobe. Okay, so frontal, parietal, occipital, and temporal lobes. These are the four types of lobes which is present in our human brain. Now we can see one by one what is a frontal lobe, what is a parietal, occipital, and temporal lobes one by one, each and every. Okay, so frontal lobe means which is present in the front side of the lobe. Okay, which is present in the front side of the lobe. So we can do the mathematical problems, everything very easily. So that deals with the frontal lobe. See here, if you can do the sum and getting the correct answer, then your frontal lobe is working very clearly and very properly. Okay, now, so frontal lobe, it is the largest of the brain's four main lobe. It is the largest lobe. Okay, and it is a emotional control center and home to the personality and decision making abilities. Okay, so it is one of the emotional control center and home to personality and decision making abilities. So see here, problem solving, movement, social interactions, all those deals with the frontal lobe. Understand? Now, see here, frontal lobe, both mentally and physically means these are the executive functioning like planning, problem solving, motivation, judgment, decision making, impulse control, social behavior, personality, memory, learning, reward, attention, all those deals with the frontal lobe. So frontal lobe not only associated with all those things, we can also move our muscles, that is hand muscles, leg muscles, thighs. If we want to run, walk, anything, it also deals with a muscle movement. For example, I will just give you one quick test. Can you raise your right hand very fastly? Very quickly, can you raise your right hand? Okay, very good. So your frontal lobe is working very properly. Okay, understand. Next lobe is the peritoneal lobe. Okay, so let's do a test. Now, with your one hand, just pinch your other hand. You can use your right hand, pinch your left hand as hard as you can possible. So what do you feel? You feel really very painful. So that means your peritoneal lobe is also working. So peritoneal lobe, it means the mainly deals with the somato. I'm sorry. Yeah, it will deals with the somatosensory nerves. Okay, that is when we are touching, paining, temperature variation, pressure, vibration, anything, all those deals with us somatic sensations. Okay, like analyzing, recognizing, we are analyzing the pain, we are recognizing the pain, right? So all those deals with the peripheral. Okay, now next is the third lobe is the temporal lobe. Temporal lobe, the main function is the visual and auditory memory. Okay, so all that we see and memorize, you're seeing me, and whatever I'm talking to you, you're listening to that and you're memorizing that in your brain. So that is dealing with the temporal lobe. For example, I will just give you one command. You can do that like that itself. Okay, so temporal lobe, as I told you, it is an auditory stimulus. That is whatever you are hearing the sound. If you are hearing a sound of a vehicle, you can tell that which it is a vehicle. Or if you are hearing some birds chirping over the trees, you can tell that, oh, it is a beautiful voice of the sound of that bird, right? Like that, whatever you are hearing, you can analyze and you can recognize the sound, right? So that is the because of the temporal nerves. Okay, so I will just give you one of the sentence. The Jack will cycle to the market and bring tomatoes for his mother. What is that? Jack will cycle to the market and bring tomatoes for his mother. Now, repeat after me. What is that? How many of you can tell it very correctly? Hmm? Yes, Jack will cycle to the market and bring tomatoes to his mother. Okay, so this is the thing that is our temporal lobe is also working very properly. Understand? Now, the fourth and the last lobe is the occipital lobe. What is occipital lobe? It helps in the recognition of the colors, words, and movements. So whatever, see, if I'm showing this color to one of the child and they are telling that he's telling that this is a mixture of black and white colors. So that means their occipital lobe is also working, right? So for example, see here, it is also dedicated to the vision and some high complex functions is also including. What all are the high complex they are including? They can assess the distance, size, and depth, right? They can mapping the visual world or determine the color properties. So these all will include the occipital lobe. Okay. So now we finish the four lobes we finished. So peritoneal lobe means which deals with the touch perception, movement control, manipulation of the objects. What is the frontal lobe, which is present in the front side and it is the largest lobe. So it is the voluntary movement, planning, mathematical problems, abstract reasoning, everything. Occipital means what we visualize or what we can local orientations, shape, perception, like that. If I'm showing this to a kid, he or she will tell that this is or either O or it is 0, or they can tell that this is oval in shape. So shape perception is also taking place. Okay, then the last one is a temporal lobe, that is long-term memory, and it is the speech compressions or object perception, face recognition, hearing, all those will deal with the temporal lobe. Okay, now let's move to the second part of the brain. So what is the second part of the brain? It is the small bulge at the backside of the brain, which is called as the cerebellum. See here the blue color thing, that is the cerebellum, and we call it as the small brain. Okay, we already call it as a small brain, and like cerebrum, cerebellum is also divided into two halves. Okay, it is also divided into two halves. So the cerebellum, it is called as a small brain, and compared to cerebrum, cerebellum is having more number of neurons. Okay, and it can control the essential body functions like balancing, coordination, posture. That is, some people will stand in one leg, some people will run very fastly, or they will jump. They can do what in the sports like javelin throw, or all those kind of things. Everything will done by the cerebellum. Okay, because it is of the small brain, functioning of the small brain. Okay, it is because of the functioning of the small brain, as well as more neurons are associated with the cerebellum. Okay, so cerebellum is a reason we can stand in one leg, jump around, run, or maintain the body posture and all. See here the functions of the cerebellum. They are motor functions are like motor learning, sense of the body position, balance and equilibrium, fine movements and coordination. All those things with the cerebellum. Understand? Now, both the cerebrum and the cerebellum we discussed are on the exterior part of the brain. Okay, so the part which controls with the emotional part is your brain. Emotional part is the brain and not the cerebrum. And want to also understand that cerebrum is controlling all those emotions. So when we are sad, or when we are very excited or anxious about something, we thought that, oh, my heart is beating so fast, but it is not the heart. It is your brain who giving you all those kind of what? All those kinds of, yes, all those kinds of emotions, or everything that can be controlled was by your brain. Okay, now I will just give you some of the interesting, like, can you tell that with your brain, or with your half brain, or with your small brain, can you live? Or if we need a full brain is needed? No. So if we don't need a full form of our brain, even if it is half also, there is no problem for the brain. Okay, so for example, I will tell you some interesting stories in that. In 1843, there is one man whose name is Penis Cage. Okay, his name is Penis Cage. And what was his work is he was a railroad worker. Okay, so while loading the gun, what he had done is he accidentally impaled his skull with a 43-inch long rod. And what he has done is he had survived. So from this, we understand that there is no need of full brain. He again survived, but later his studies showed that he's completely changed his mental health. That is, he had completely lost his mental health, and he had formed into a new man. And everyone tell that he was not the like what? He was no longer Gage. He was some other new personality. So this case was the first to suggest that there is a link between the brain trauma and the personality change. Okay, there is a link between brain trauma and the personality change. And also there is another story there, where it is a 24-year-old woman in China. She went to the doctor. She was always complaining that she's having dizziness and nausea. So the doctor, what they done, they had prescribed so many medicines and everything, but also she's not curing the nausea and dizziness. So they asked for a CT scan, and she also done that. And what the interesting fact that is, the woman was born without a cerebellum, and it lived a good part of life without knowing that. So what is that? The brain's functionality is not just localized to these parts, but rather spread across the brain. And the interesting part is that most of these brain parts have the power to adapt the functionality of other parts. So this phenomena, what we call it as is neuroplasticity. Okay, it is called as the neuroplasticity. So this adaptation is most visible under extreme conditions. Hmm? So talking about this extreme condition, there was another story there, that is in 2001 during a Christmas Eve, a person called Trevor Waldrop was born. Hmm? And that person was born without a forebrain. Forebrain. Just think that, and what his forebrain was is missing, and it is called as, that condition is called as hydranencephaly. Hydranencephaly. So in this hydranencephaly, where there's a usual cerebral hemisphere was missing, and that cranial cavity was filled with the some of the kind of the cerebrospinal fluid. So even without a small brain, Trevor lived for 12 years. Hmm? And 12 years he had lived, therefore setting an example for the limits of human survival. So how do, absolutely there will be a questions like how do he manage to live, or how do he can do that. So even though he managed to did not have his usual cerebral hemisphere, he still had his brain stems. Okay, he still had his brain stems intact, which allowed him to breathe and maintain a heartbeat, and of course he can respond to some kind of basic stimuli. So therefore the brainstem is the most important part of the brain. It is very necessary for our survival. Okay, so living with a half brain is also possible because our brain has the adaptive ability to adapt to the requirement over a period of time during a neuroplasticity. Okay, due to the neuroplasticity. So I think that is all with the brain that we can deal with your chapter. So we can see in our next session. Okay, thank you for your time you given to me. Thank you so much. Okay, bye. In the next class, we can continue with the nervous tissues, nervous part of the human brain. Okay, that is like reflexation, refluxa, how we are taking the hands when we are touching a hard object. All those will come under the next topic. Thank you. Bye.